I drive a Ferrari 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
Okay, before we close it out here, a little life advice, and I think we got one that's a little bit different here. We could probably just end this every week going, hey, yeah, 20s, they're tough. You're not really quite sure. It'll get better. Boom. Just hit that. Have that as a drop after every pod. All right. This is from Pat. Love the pod. After listening to the infamous Baller Boomer, people still, Mr. Eight Figures, people will not stop emailing about him. The life advice from a few weeks back. I have a suggestion for our low 8-figure friend. Use your free time and means to build a lasting legacy. It doesn't sound like he can go full Bobby Axelrod and slap his name on a building just yet. So the next best thing is to mentor young minds and help others get to where he is. I'm guessing it would be way more engaging for him than unpacking donated oranges at a food bank or whatever. By the way, really good advice. I think that's good. But we had the other therapist check in earlier this week saying this guy may just be a really deep-seated loner who has dependency issues. So I don't know what to do with Mr. Eight Figure, but I hope you still listen. Shout out. You're a legend. People can't stop talking about you. Tons of emails about him. Okay. This guy actually does have a question, though. Background on me, I'm 30, living in San Francisco, working in tech. That's you? And have achieved a small level of success, but have never really had anyone further up the ladder invest in me. Oh, okay. Despite a number of people sitting me down and saying, quote, you have a lot of potential. I think we covered that on a different life podcast where you may have a ton of potential, or you may have a manager who thinks you're slacking and they say that to motivate you, or you have a manager who heard that from somebody else once and now they say it to everyone else. Continuing the email, for whatever reason, I've been unsuccessful in getting any amount of a relationship with more established folks than that. I love reading biographies, and one of the commonalities of the master of the universe types is that they generally had a series of mentors pulling them up the ranks. It was really apparent in David Geffen's biography, where his whole life basically trading a mentor in for a new, more successful one. I'm not sure what role mentorship has played in your life other than you mentoring Bill Simmons. Curious to hear your take. Okay. You know what's funny is when I got that one in this morning from you, I thought it meant, because I immediately was like, yeah, you know, I haven't really had the mentor thing in anything I've done. And I didn't really think about it. You know, that's the thing about being younger is you're not going to have it all covered. And then somebody else is going to have some kind of plan. And you're going to go, holy like, how did you even know that? Be like, oh, I have an older brother. I have this cousin that summers, you know, whatever. And he told me is I have one friend who he hadn't worked for a really long time after college, and everybody loved him. So it wasn't like he was some deadbeat that we go, oh, this guy's never going to amount to anything. We were just kind of a little surprised. We're like, hey, does that guy just not work? Like, what's his deal? And so finally one time I was like, hey, what's your deal? What's going on? He's like, you know, I'm just kind of staying around, keeping things in the mix, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He goes, you know, he's like, I really feel like at some point I'll probably just meet some guy that likes me, who's got his shit together and, you know, has some investments, and he'll bring me along, and then maybe he'll get me in on a deal, and, you know, that'll just kind of take it from there. Like, that was his whole plan, that he was going to meet an older, very successful, rich guy who'd done some, you know, whether it was a real estate deal or funding some other thing, that he would just befriend him, and then that guy would like
get 2% or something.
Yeah, it was just, there you go. There you go. Yeah, and I thought to myself, I go, is that the dumbest plan or the best plan? Like, I really didn't know. And by the way, everything worked out for this guy. And a lot of it had more to do with him making some good decisions after that. But I'm not saying it's impossible. I think the mentoring thing, I wish I had done a better job, not with on-air people in getting to know them, but with people behind the scenes. But I've talked about that before. I did a bad job of that at ESPN. I just would be like, all right, you know, whatever. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. I didn't want to waste your time by coming over and be like, hey, let's map out my next 5 years. Or like, hey, what do you think about this? I heard a story about somebody that I worked with and invited the president of the company to the wedding. And I was like, are you even close with them? They're like, no, but you never know. Like, what would be better than that? I would go, I would be embarrassed to send the invite.
Word.
But that's more of a me problem. Why not? So I would really push if you feel like you're at this tech firm. I don't know your deal. You know what I mean? It could be that nobody's mentored you because they don't like you, or that you're not as good at this, or I'm just trying to be totally honest here, or you're just kind of quiet. No one's ever really reached out. Like, don't wait for the other person to reach out. Don't wait for the person to magically show up at your door one day and solve all of your problems and make your life better. Like, it's really on you, and you can definitely screw it up too. You can be really annoying about it. I mean, I've had a few younger guys reach out to me where I was like, okay, this guy sucks. He won't leave me alone, and I don't want to deal with this anymore. And I'll just kind of move on. So I wouldn't say I'm the greatest of the mentors that are out there, but there's something to be said for you making the effort on your own, no matter what business you're in, to just say, hey, this is what I kind of want to do. This is where my head's out. How can I get there? How can I achieve some of these things? Because if no one's ever doing it for you and that's how you feel about your job, then it's up to you to go ahead and do it. As far as like trading them out, I can't imagine how great that must be when you just have to dump your mentor for a better, more successful mentor. You're like, hey, look, this has been a nice little run, but I have somebody far more successful that can help out my life a lot more. So I'm not going to be asking you for advice anymore. So peace. I've never done any of that stuff. I've never had to swap them all out. Yeah. I would say if you're a construction worker, don't worry about this stuff as much. There's a lot of stuff where we get these emails about work, and that's why I think everybody should have to work construction, because you've showed up to the site and just said, well, I'm not quite sure about the pitch of this roof. Okay, leave. I was really hoping that maybe you guys could mentor me. We could map out like a 5-year plan, because I don't want to just be in concrete. All right, yeah, you can fucking beat it. So construction work will I just think it makes you kind of like go, oh, maybe my feelings don't need to be heard every lunch break on the job site here today. Everybody have a great weekend. Bill and I are back on Sunday as well. Please subscribe, rate, and review to the Ryen Russillo podcast, part of the Ringer Podcast Network. And that's it. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys on Sunday. Thanks.